Consciousness doesn't make any sense. Sights, sounds, smells, the warmth of love, the sting of sadness, the coldness of heartbreak. Why do we experience any of it? We've mapped the observable universe. We've measured every neuron in the brain. We've even taught machines to think and speak just like us. And still, we can't explain the most basic fact of being alive. Why does it feel like anything to be you? Why is there a little person inside your head living a story through time? It's the one thing every human who has ever existed has shared, and the one thing none of us can explain. Because consciousness isn't a single thing. It unfolds in levels. And the deeper you go, the stranger it gets. So let's go down. The most ordinary state and the most mysterious. Every night you slip past the edge of thought into a void so empty that even the idea of emptiness disappears. The world dissolves. The self vanishes. There are no dreams here, only a vast, silent stillness, and you can't understand it by trying. Just as you can't know blindness by closing your eyes, you can't know deep sleep by taking a nap. One moment you're awake, the next you're awake again. But for the hours in between, you are nowhere. Neuroscience calls this the delta wave state, a slow rhythm under 4 cycles per second, the body's deepest repair mode, where tissue heals and memory consolidates. The mind switches off so the body can rebuild. But inside, something stranger happens. Experience itself ends. No space, no time, no you. Awareness folds back into its source, the way an ocean wave returns to the sea and forgets it ever rose. Philosophers call it a kind of gentle annihilation, death being shy. You don't know you're gone, and yet you wake and somehow know that you were. And here's the seed of the whole mystery. Something still knows that nothing is happening. Otherwise, you'd wake up each morning confused about the gap. So even at the bottom, awareness never fully leaves. It only steps behind the curtain and waits. Then fragments begin to move, images shimmer, and without opening your eyes, you're somewhere else entirely. This is the first world consciousness builds for itself. The senses are shut down, the body lies still. Yet inside the theater of the brain, entire universes appear. Mountains rise and vanish. Strangers wear the faces of people you love. You live a lifetime in a few minutes. And the strangest part is that it all feels real. Science places this in REM sleep. Rapid eye movement, surging brain activity, the body paralyzed while the mind runs free. But look closer at what's happening. In a dream, you are everything. You are the laws of physics, the architecture of space, the author of time. Every voice you hear is your own mind speaking back to you. Every face is carved from your own memory. You build a world, forget that you built it, then wander through it as a character inside. And it leaves real marks. A nightmare races your heart. A good dream can hold peace for years. For something that isn't real, the dream is a remarkably convincing rehearsal for the exact thing your mind does all day long. Which raises an uncomfortable question. If your mind can build a world this convincing while you sleep, what is it doing while you're awake? You open your eyes. Orange light spills through the window. Green grass under a blue sky, indigo fading to violet on the horizon. Color, sound, scent, sensation. The full spectrum floods in at once. This is the state we spend almost our entire lives inside, and we call it reality. But it's a construction. Your brain processes billions of signals a second, turning every sound and shape into electrical code, then rendering a 3-dimensional world. A hallucination just stable enough to survive in. Neuroscience calls the narrator of it the default mode network, the system that builds the ongoing story of me, the observer at the center of everything. And the harder you stare at it, the more fragile it looks. Some animals see infrared. Bats and whales navigate by echo. Birds read the Earth's magnetic field. People with synesthesia see music. None of us experience the world as it is, only the slice our nervous system allows. Descartes asked how you could ever be sure you aren't dreaming right now. Kant said we never touch reality itself, only a model of it. Donald Hoffman goes further. Perception is a user interface, evolved to keep you alive, not to show you the truth. Your senses don't reveal reality. They hide it behind icons useful enough to survive. So waking life isn't the opposite of dreaming. It's just the most persistent dream, vivid enough to convince you and everyone around you that it's real. And for most people, this is where consciousness stops. Waking, dreaming, sleeping. 3 states on repeat, mistaken for the whole of experience. But something constant hides underneath all 3. And it only reveals itself when the mind goes completely still. Beyond waking, dreaming, and sleep is a state that fits none of them. Not unconsciousness, not imagination. Awareness. Awake, but utterly still. The thoughts slow, then stop. The body remains, the senses remain, but attention turns around and rests on itself. Consciousness is no longer pointed at anything. It simply is. And the brain shows it. Normally, the 2 hemispheres fire independently, chaotically. But in deep meditators, the signals across both halves begin to synchronize, like instruments finding the same note, as the brain stills with it. The Upanishads call this turiya, the 4th state. Buddhists call it emptiness, not empty of content, but empty of boundaries. Descartes said, "I think, therefore I am." Here, the thinking dissolves, and the I am remains. For the first time, the observer notices it was never the thoughts at all. It's the space the thoughts appear in. People describe it as coming home, except home isn't a place. It's the one who was looking, finally turning around to find itself. Then something extraordinary happens. The stillness doesn't vanish when you open your eyes. It stays while you move, speak, work, and live. You can feel joy and sorrow, gain and loss, and underneath all of it, a silent, unmoving awareness simply watches. You're still in the story, but now you're also watching it from a distance. The emotions that once swept you away become waves on the surface of an ocean. Pain still arises, but so does an unshakable calm beneath it. You become both the actor and the stage. Mystics call this the witness state, the first steady awakening. And it isn't otherworldly. It's ordinary life lived from a higher vantage point. You walk and breathe and talk while resting in something infinite. And slowly you start to suspect the awareness inside you and the intelligence running the cosmos might be the same thing, meeting like 2 reflections in still water. Then the witness stops merely watching and starts to feel. That same stillness now seems to pulse through everything you see. The tree outside the window is no longer an object. It breathes. It glows. The line between the one who perceives and the thing perceived softens into reverence. The awareness that once sat silent inside you begins to overflow and touch everything with love. In the brain, this shows up as highly synchronized gamma activity, the signature seen in meditators flooded with compassion and awe. The Vedas call it Sat Chit Ananda, being, consciousness, bliss. Christian mystics call it theosis, union with God through love. The Sufis sang of a divine passion that burns away all separation. Each points at the same thing. The universe isn't a cold machine. It's a living expression of consciousness, and that consciousness is good. Here, love stops being an emotion and becomes a way of seeing. You don't feel love for the world. You see through it. Every atom becomes a hymn, every breath a prayer. And at the final level, even the witness disappears. The line between observer and observed, self and world, collapses completely. There's no longer someone looking out at the universe. There is only consciousness, infinite, self-luminous, flowing through every form like light through glass. You don't perceive unity. You are it. Science reaches its limit here. Some call it non-dual awareness, a brain state where the sense of a separate self all but disappears. But that's only the shadow of it. The experience isn't in the brain. The brain, the world, and all of existence arise inside it. Advaita calls it Brahman, the one without a second. Buddhism calls it sunyata, the emptiness that is completely full. The drop becomes the ocean and yet remains the drop. Time dissolves. Past and future collapse into a single, boundless now. The search ends, because the seeker has dissolved into what it was searching for all along. And from here you see the truth. Consciousness never climbed anywhere. It was always whole. The latter was only a story the mind told to understand what the self already knew. 7 levels: the deep sleep, the dream, the waking, the silence, the witness, the love, the unity. All of them, movements within the same ocean of being. Maybe consciousness doesn't rise out of the brain like smoke from a fire. Maybe the brain is the instrument, and consciousness is the musician. Maybe what you call I isn't a separate spark, but the whole fire reflected in a single flame. So perhaps there aren't 7 levels at all. Maybe there's only one, appearing as many, dreaming as us. And maybe the deepest truth about consciousness isn't that it's hidden somewhere waiting to be found. Maybe it's been looking through your eyes the entire time.